Dominance denied. Bivol shuts down the most feared puncher in boxing. Aftermath of a masterclass. When the final bell rang, it didn't feel like the end of a fight. It felt like the end of an illusion. For years, 𝐼𝐸𝐫𝐵𝐵 had towered over the light heavyweight division like a myth. 20 men had tried, and 20 had been swallowed. None had lasted the distance. None had made him look human, until now. Dmitry Bivol didn't just defeat him. He rewrote the story. Not with violence, but with vision. Not by exchanging fire, but by bending space, making 𝐸𝐵𝐵 punch at air, chase ghosts, and question the very rhythm that had defined his entire career. And in the quiet just before the decision was read, you could feel it. A collective silence that wasn't confusion. It was awe. Because this wasn't about who landed more punches. It was about who rewired the fight in real time. Who imposed not just a strategy, but a higher intelligence. Brilliance in motion. There are many ways to win a fight, but few do it like this. Bivol's performance wasn't built on strength. It wasn't built on power. It was built on angles, discipline, control. The most dangerous man in boxing wasn't neutralized with brute resistance. He was neutralized with rhythm. Every jab Bivol threw wasn't just a score. It was a question. And with every missed answer, 𝐸𝐵𝐵 lost ground. Bivol's feet were never still for long, but never panicked either. He moved just enough to reset the distance, to escape the wheelhouse, to make 𝐸𝐵𝐵 recalibrate. And in the half-second it took him to do that, Bivol was already gone. Or worse, already punching. It was the sweet science in its purest form. Movement with meaning, defense as offense, timing as dominance. The genius of control. The key to beating a puncher like 𝐸𝐵𝐵 is not surviving the storm. It's disrupting it before it ever forms. And that's exactly what Bivol did. He removed the one thing 𝐸𝐵𝐵 needs more than power. Stability. He didn't let him plant.
Хороший удар.
Хорошо встретил, здорово.
Он встретил в Петербурге, ему тоже созданы, в общем-то, условия.
Didn't let him rhythmically advance. He made every moment awkward, every exchange inefficient, every position temporary. That's not just defense, it's disruption. And it works because Bivol doesn't run, he orbits. When 𝐸𝐵𝐵 attacked, Bivol circled into blind angles. When 𝐸𝐵𝐵 reset, Bivol popped the jab. When 𝐸𝐵𝐵 paused to load up, Bivol snuck in a combination that broke the sequence. This is how you beat power without matching it. You make it irrelevant. A fight that transcends power. 𝐸𝐵𝐵 was never just a puncher. He was a pressure artist. His greatness came not from single shots, but from inevitability. The sense that no matter what you did, he would get to you. But Bivol never gave him that oxygen. He didn't just block punches, he preempted them. He didn't just move, he reset the geography of the ring. He didn't just outbox, he made 𝐸𝐵𝐵 doubt. And for a fighter built on conviction, doubt is poison. By round 10, it wasn't just the crowd who sensed it. It was in 𝐸𝐵𝐵's eyes, the urgency, the frustration, the fatigue that doesn't come from the body, but from the mind. From knowing that everything you were trained to do is being anticipated and dismantled in real time. That kind of loss isn't just physical, it's spiritual. A throwback in the modern age. What made this performance even more remarkable is how rare it is. In an era dominated by spectacle, viral knockouts, trash talk, and manufactured grudge matches, Bivol reminded the world of something deeper. That the heart of boxing is not in brutality, it's in brilliance. He channeled the spirit of the great technicians, the Larry Holmes jab, the Mayweather composure, the Andre Ward control, the Pernell Whitaker footwork. But what made it uniquely Bivol was the cold efficiency, the complete absence of ego. He didn't fight to impress. He fought to express something more subtle, more lasting. That boxing at its highest level is a game of minds before it is a contest of bodies. And in that game, Bivol played at grandmaster speed. The rise of a quiet storm. Dmitry Bivol didn't arrive in boxing with fireworks. No viral videos, No flamboyant predictions, no promises of blood. He came with discipline, with silence, with fundamentals honed in isolation. Born in Kyrgyzstan, raised in Russia, trained in obscurity, he didn't have the spotlight, but he had the blueprint. From his earliest fights, it was clear. Bivol was something different, a fighter who didn't chase chaos, a fighter who made opponents fight on his time, at his tempo. But in a sport that sells violence, fighters like Bivol are often overlooked. He wasn't knocking people out with wild overhands.
With 15 seconds left. Nice jab, uppercut there from Beterbiev. And once that uppercut starts landing,
He was dissecting them, piece by piece, until nothing remained but frustration and resignation. Some called him boring, others called him safe. But now they call him the man who broke the monster. When styles make eras, boxing history is written not just by champions but by style. Ali danced, Tyson destroyed, Mayweather deflected, Pacquiao swarmed. And now Bivol adds another chapter, the dominance of disruption. What makes this era so fascinating is contrast. You have punches like Beterbiev and Benavidez, slicksters like Shakur Stevenson, pressure machines like Teofimo Lopez. And then you have Bivol, a man who refuses to play by any script but his own. What we witnessed wasn't just a style win, it was a statement. That control beats chaos, that precision beats pressure, that the future of the sport doesn't belong to those who yell the loudest, but to those who master the quietest truths. What happens now? For Beterbiev, this was a shattering, but not an ending. He's still a warrior, still dangerous, still a threat to anyone who stands still too long. But now there's tape, now there's a map, now there's a blueprint, etched round by a man who refused to fight scared. The rematch? It could happen. And if it does, it will carry a different kind of tension. Because once a myth is broken, the second battle is no longer about fear. It's about redemption. And for Bivol, the road ahead is wide open. Undisputed at 175 is now a real conversation. A leap to cruiserweight isn't out of the question. Even a Canelo rematch at a higher weight remains on the table. But wherever he goes next, one thing is clear. The man who once stood in the shadows has now redefined the light, the soul of the sweet science. This fight will live in the highlight reels, not for knockdowns, not for blood, but for mastery. Every feint was a probe. Every jab was a map. Every step was geometry. This was boxing as it was meant to be, the art of control under threat. And perhaps that's the most lasting impression, that in a world desperate for spectacle, it was the man who refused to chase it who stole the stage. Bivol didn't need to shout to be heard. He didn't need to knock out to dominate. He didn't need to brawl to break a legend. He just needed to think faster, to move cleaner, to fight smarter. And in doing so, he reminded us, the most dangerous weapon in the ring is a mind that cannot be broken. The fight that echoes, long after the arena emptied, long after the gloves were cut off and the cameras stopped rolling. This fight will echo, not just because Bivol won, but because of how he won. He didn't rely on judges. He didn't need a moment of luck. He created his victory, one footstep, one angle, one choice at a time. He made the ring his laboratory. He made a storm freeze in midair. And he proved, without question, that timing isn't just a tool. It's a weapon. That calm isn't weakness, it's supremacy. That brains, when sharpened to their peak, are more terrifying than any punch. So remember this night, because in a sport built on power, Dmitry Bivol just carved his legacy with precision. Subscribe to KO Kings. If you love fights that aren't just battles but blueprints, if you live for moments where legends fall, not by force, but by flawless execution, then this is your corner. KO Kings is where power meets poetry, where strategy outshines spectacle, and where every fight tells a story worth remembering. Step into the ring with us. Hit that subscribe button, join the team, because this is boxing at its highest level.